Hey guys, Doman here coming at you live. So let's talk about mining and Star Citizen careers. This will be a new series I'll do quickly. It'll be Star Citizen roles, like the stuff you can do in Star Citizen. Well, when the game's finished anyway. So yeah, Star Citizen and mining. So let's get started. Basically with mining and stuff, you're gonna have to pick the correct ship for it because you can't exactly just take your Hull D and start headbutting asteroids hoping good stuff's gonna pop out. That's not really the way it works. Right, basically, what you want to do is you want to get your hands on either a MISC prospector if you're entering in starter level, or if you're going in with a big group of people and you want to start a mining corporation, go for something like the Orion. Some major, heavy machinery for this type of stuff, and you'll gather up tons of resources and make big bucks. Right. So, obviously, the first step on any prospector's list, or the first place you'll ever go, will be the job well place. You can see where the various levels of profit for ore and things like that. You can see basically what the going rate is on majority of the metals and stuff you'll extract before you head out. So you'll go out there with basically an idea of how much you'll be getting in return for your time and effort and fuel costs and running fees. Because you gotta remember, all these ships, now this is something that majority of people don't mention in their videos, but every single ship has got a running cost. Okay, it's gonna cost money for fuel, maintenance, standard repairs, all these things. And then you always have to set a bit of money aside, just in case the worst should happen, major damage, like catastrophic repairs, all that sort of stuff. Also, the cost just in case the worst should happen and crew members die, because mining is not as easy or simple or as safe as a lot of people make it out to be. And it's not as simple as mining in every other game. Like, you'll have mining in EVE, and mining in Elite Dangerous is pretty mind-numbingly boring, but if you compared it to Star Citizen, that you can't really compare the two, because Star Citizen's mining is going to be as advanced, and you're going to have require as much skill in your actions as someone who's dogfighting would, because it's very tricky and risky to do it, and the bigger the mining ship, the bigger the risk, because I'll get to it in a minute. Right. So, let's start out here with your mining ship. So, with the Orion, your top-of-the-line mining ship, it's got everything you need to hold tons and tons of cargo. I mean, you got all of the drills and laser cutters that you could possibly want. I mean, the thing is, though, you're gonna need crew members for something like that. You're gonna need a pilot who is, capable of navigating the ship and flying it through asteroid fields, and it's going to be very dangerous because asteroid fields, some of them might be unpredictable. You'll have asteroids floating around and colliding with one another and blowing up, and chunks flying everywhere, and your pilot's going to need to be pretty sharp in order to maneuver something that big through an area like an asteroid field. A scan operator is something you're going to need. A scan operator is going to be someone who's going to be injecting quite literally like a drone into an asteroid, and it'll scan the asteroid and let you know what it has inside. But the scanner, like the guy who operating this thing, will have to hit it perfectly dead on to be able to receive the right amount of information, and then proceed to work the scanner so it gives you all the information you can possibly extract from that. And this could be what determines life and death. And I'll tell you why. It's to do with the next role, beam operator. Now, basically, your beam operator is someone who's basically going to be the second in command of the mining expedition. They're responsible for welding multi-megawatt mining beam generators fixed to the more robotic arms near the front of the ship and all that sort of good stuff. But yeah, I'll get into more detail. The beam operator is someone who fires the cutting beam into the asteroid with either, you got to get it just right, the correct amount of energy. And you're basically relying upon the scan operator to be your eyes in a scenario to let you know what's inside. And I'll tell you why a bad crew is not going to last long when it comes to mining. And I recommend that if anyone watching this is planning on doing mining as a group, don't get mad at each other when stuff goes wrong, guys, because it's going to go wrong like at some point. I mean, maybe it might be to wear and tear on your ship where your scanner, like machinery, is not exactly up to date and hasn't been maintained as well, where it might fail on you and cause you to lose the ship because of a false scan. Or it might be that your scan operator is literally struggling to get to grips with what it takes to scan this stuff, because it's pretty tricky. You're gonna have to hit something that could be moving and rotating with a tiny little drone and hope it sticks dead on where you want it to. And then the scan operator's gonna have to, you know, go into the mechanism and scan the thing. That could be very difficult indeed, and stressful, if you're pressed for time and money. So, if you're a captain of a mining vessel, remember to try and keep as calm and collected as possible. Because the more stressed you are, like, you know, and the more frustrated you're getting with your crew, the worse they're gonna operate. It's not like on board a military capital ship where if, you know, you're yelling commands, people aren't gonna, you know, get into that killer instinct mode and, you know, work things out. That never works. It may work in the movies, but in real life, that's not the way things work. As someone who's in charge, you're gonna have to remain calm no matter what the circumstance. But anyway, that's the role of the captain. But let's move on to the scan operator and the beam operator and how they function together. So the beam operator will control the beam into the asteroid, and I'll tell you what can go wrong. Now, if the guy controlling the beam is either a bit overzealous and is pressed for time and is like, oh, I gotta cut through this thing real quick because I need to quickly go take the garbage out, or, you know, my dog's hungry, my cat's hungry, you know what I mean, or crap, I gotta run, so I'll just max power the beam, you know what I mean? Or you're just trying to get as much profit as possible and you're going as fast as possible. This is what could end up getting the ship destroyed or damaged in a pretty severe way. These asteroids can contain gas and all sorts of metals and things that might explode when they react with the beam itself. And if you put too much power in there, all of a sudden, that asteroid you're mining becomes quite literally like, you know, an explosive device that's covered in solid chunks of metal and rock. That's going to be flung out in every which way at super intense speeds. And worst case scenario, let's take a guess here. Worst case scenario, your pilot's a bit lazy and, you know, you've bumped and scraped your way through the asteroid field and he's not that sharp, and he parks it really close to this asteroid, a bit too close. Scan operator hits it, doesn't receive a proper scan, gives a false reading. Beam operator's in a hurry, he scans he beams the asteroid, maximum power, and kaplooey, the asteroid blows up, and who knows, it could be a chain reaction. It explodes because it's so close to the ship. Shards of this asteroid hurtle through the hull of the ship, tearing the nose apart. Chunks hurl into the pilot's cabin, crushing the pilot immediately. The front end of the ship blows up. Who knows what else happens? The gases and materials that are inside the ship ignite, and kaplooey, the entire ship detonates. That's the worst case scenario, and I know I made mining may sound... It's like, hey, you want to do mining? Boom! But yeah, don't be scared by that if you're interested in doing mining. I don't know why, but I have a mental image right now of some people watching this, wide-eyed, pale in the face, knuckles holding onto the keyboard, just like, I don't want to do mining anymore. But no, mining is great, it's good fun, it's an adventure. Don't let what I just say scare you, like, you know. But yeah, you're gonna need also, like, other people to work in other parts of the ship, like, you know, to the cargo operator, the guy who is on the console on the bridge and has like the camera mounted within like the forward-facing input port and basically scoops up all of the objects. And the refinery operator, someone who's gonna refine all of the material on board that ship to the best it can be and throw out as little as little of the good stuff and throw out maximum waste product as possible. I mean, these roles are really interesting because nothing on the ship is simple. It's not straightforward like click and drag, click and drag. It's all somebody's doing something. Like, the refinery operator might be that guy you can imagine in sci-fi with the headphones on, listening to music, just going through like all the stuff, and he might need to repair the machine every once in a while, or he might need to sort out the program on board the ship every once in a while. Hell, he could even overclock the system. And that's awesome. You've got people on board your ship all doing independent tasks. I mean, maybe if the first 3 guys ain't so great, the other 2 are gonna suffer for it, the cargo operator and the refinery operator, because let's face it, if the ship explodes, they're not exactly gonna be safe. But yeah, if you're on board a mining ship and you've got your act together and you guys know what you're doing and you're functioning well as a team and everybody respects everybody, then you're gonna do amazing. I'm not even kidding. Your pilot will be able to relax and focus on the job. The scan operator will be able to focus on his job. Scan operator scans the asteroid, tells you what's in it. Beam operator cuts away what you need, no problems. Then the cargo operator gets it in the ship, everything's going smooth. And then you're gonna have the refinery operator taking away all the excess junk and crap and then basically taking the pure stuff and putting it into the ship. And boom! You guys have made an instant profit, and that's what it's about with mining. Then you can sell your cargo. You'll go obviously with all of your stuff, your meticulous efforts, and then you'll go to some place like a trade hub or a mining station, and you'll sell your stuff and have a huge payday. But you've got to find the right place for your ores, because who knows, like the place that you'd usually go, you might get there and boom, it's the market's been flooded. You know what I mean? Like, there's tons of this stuff now in there. Yeah, it's basically stuff you've got on board. So what you'll need to do is you'll need to find somewhere else. But there's something else when you're mining. I'd recommend taking at least 1 mercenary with you in a fighter that's a pretty good fighter, or maybe even a couple, because sure, their job might be simple in the event of like nothing happens, but if something does happen, they could be the difference between losing your ship and losing your cargo, or just losing your cargo and making a huge payday. Because pirates are going to go after mining ships like you would not believe. Mining ships and dedicated cargo holders are going to be the targets of pirates. You're going to need protection. So yeah. Or you can join an organization that offers you protection. Personally, my organization, that's what we're focused on. We're focused on helping people who are traders and miners and stuff like that. So if you want to do some trading or mining, you'd have some guys with combat vessels come with you and help you do your escapade with like minimal worries about paying too much and things like that, because all they'll take is 10% of your overall profit. They won't ask for anything extra. That's the way it's going to work. We're all going to work together in a sense. So yeah. That's a little bit of self-promoting there, but yeah, the organization is called Death Corp if you're interested. Aside from that, mining is amazing, guys. It's gonna be a good one. So, I'll see what role you can move on to next in Star Citizen. I'll do another video on it. But yeah, mining in basic is you go out there, you have to navigate and find a place where you can mine that's got good materials, whether it be in space with your Orion or on a planet with your Prospector, and you can mine. Planet mining is relatively safe, by the way, guys. It should be relatively safe, but not as lucrative as asteroid mining. But yeah, asteroid mining is more dangerous, but obviously it's going to be because you got a whole series of things to watch out for. But yeah, if you get the chance to buy a MISC Prospector or the Orion and you're interested in mining, do it now if you've got the dollars or the pounds spare or the euros, because it'll save you a bunch of time. And looking at prices of ships in game now, like with real money, compared to what they're going to be when the game's out, there's a huge difference. You're making a killing on a saving. I'm not even kidding. You're saving so much time. It's unbelievable. So yeah, thank you for watching, folks. As always, fly safe, commanders, and I'll see you in the verse. And yet again, thank you for subscribing. You make my day a lot better.